Hello my friend, in this video I will share with you my personal story of how I started freelancing from 0 point, and luckily for you, when I started I was triggering all the information. Like the time I spent on different tasks, revenues, fees, commissions, and I made tons of spreadsheets with all that information. So in this video I will break down in complete details my freelance start, and since I'm not trying to sell you wherever freelancing course, I will not romanticize freelancing like a lot of people actually do. I will just share with you pure and dry numbers and you will be able to make your own conclusions. Deal? Let's go! Let's go! Let's go, my friend. Some background here. I used to work as a bartender and in 2020 COVID happens, so I ended up without work, without revenue, and with a lot of free time. My friend called me and he said, I want to try video editing, but since I don't speak English, can you find me clients on Upwork or Fiverr? And since I had a lot of time, I was like, yeah, why not? So after 1.5 months working like this, I was finding the clients and my friend was doing video editing. We earned something like 200 euros. I actually realized that if I would work as a freelancer video editor full time, I would be able to make a living out of it. So in August of 2020, I bought a laptop and I started to work as a video editor. I already had like 8 reviews on the Upwork and 0 reviews on the Fiverr. And I still had no idea how to edit videos. So knowing that, let's jump into spreadsheets. So just to explain the logic how I usually track my time, don't be afraid that everything is on Russian, I will just explain you the main things that you need to know. When I sit in front of computer and start to work, I put the time when I start to work, like that one, 10. Then I'm working on something, and when I finish, I put the time when I finish. And then I write what I was doing. And so basically my work time never includes something like breaks, lunch, or wherever. So only pure, active, focused work. So, and usually I separate everything on 4 categories. So the green one is organizational work. It's more about searching clients, working with software, update software. The orange one is the active work, that I actually working on the projects for which I got paid for. Pink one is the learning new skills, so passing courses, watching YouTube videos, and learning some new tricks. And yellowish is a practice of wherever skills. So I learn something and then I practice something. Usually in the end of the month I'm making that type of overview. So let's jump to the monthly overview and we will start with the first month, August. So first thing that I want to mention is plan. When I started to work, I was making plans on how many hours I should work or how much money I should earn. I would never recommend you to do that, and I stopped to do that after half a year because it makes no sense. When you're making plans on hours, you don't care about such things as performance or productivity of your time. You just care to work certain amount of hours. It's not the thing that we want to do. And what about the plans on money? It's not completely 100% under your control. So your clients might have at some month a lot of work and another not a lot, and partially depending on your luck basically. So making plan on money is kind of the same as making plan on how lucky you will get on the next month. That's not the thing I would recommend you to do. For now, let's delete those. August. First month I was working 215 hours, which is a lot because it was my first month. I knew nothing and I had to spend really a lot of time to understand everything, how Upwork works, how to edit videos and all the stuff. And those 215 hours, it was something like wake up, start to work, stop to work, go sleep. That's it. And so I earned total $256. And after all the commissions and fees, it was $192. It's super hard to make living out of it. And also I was counting price of 1 hour of my work. So basically it's amount of dirty money divided on the total hours. And it's $1.19 per hour. And that cell is the amount of money divided on the amount of hours that I was working exactly on the projects that I got paid for. And actual work was just 86 hours out of 215, so it was 40%. Almost 35 hours I spent on the learning and 44 hours I spent on practicing what I learned. So I was learning Premiere Pro mostly, and practicing Premiere Pro, and as well was FL Studio. I was trying to make some music. So on the second month it was already less hours, but almost twice more money, and even like per hour it was much more. And as you see here, we have graphs Upwork and Fiverr. So in the first month I earned $236 from Upwork and $20 from the Fiverr. Since I already had some reviews on the Upwork and I already passed the phase of the working on super cheap projects just in the name of reviews, I didn't want to do the same on the Fiverr, so I already started with setting okay prices for me. So on the second month I earned on Upwork 420, on Fiverr 160, 580 total, and the clean money was $464, which already better than the first month. But pay attention, on the work on the projects I spent almost twice more rather than on first month. So it was 74% and very low amount on learning and practicing. So the third month was almost the same, even less money. But as you see, the difference between work hours from the previous month is better. So here I earned almost the same amount of money, but I spent on working on actual projects much less time, almost twice less. Because most of the time I was working with organizational stuff and with learning and practicing. So that month I was mostly learning new stuff, passing courses on editing, as I said before. When I started, I had zero clue how to edit videos. So in the November, it was even less money per hour, but as you could see, it was more money on the Fiverr already. And yeah, here I spent a lot of time by working. And so December, it was already better. It was $710 with 568 clean money. And as you see, $11.50 per hour of work time. I was working just 61 hours. And what I like to see here is the amount of hours every month less and less, but amount of money, like as you see here, for example, 143 hours comparing to like 200 hours almost working, the amount of money is more. And he was mostly on Upwork. And I remember it was like Christmas Eve and I found some clients who were companies who were making some videos for their clients, and it was a lot of them, and I was paid by hour. Just 61 hours I spent on work comparing to the previous 120 hours I was working, and I just earned like almost 500. And a lot of time I was practicing Premiere Pro. So after those 5 months, something happens, and I will tell you the main thing that I realized. When you start, it's super hard to understand your pricing. It's super hard to set prices for the clients because you don't really understand the price of your work. For you, for the first month when you're working, it's more crucial that the clients will accept your offers, so you had work at least. After a certain period of time when you're working, you start to realize the real price of your work. And so after those 5 months, I realized one thing. Instead of chasing clients who set the budget, since I already know the fair price for me, I could try to reach the clients who don't set budget in the Upwork. And the thing that I found out, that actually those people are willing to pay fair price for your work. So on the January, when I realized that, I growth in my revenue. So as you see, I was working again as the first month a lot of hours, and most of them, 68%, were by working on the projects, and I earned $1,200 or almost 1,000 in clear. And as you see, forgot to mention here, amount of projects that I did, total amount of clients. So sometimes one client could bring you a few videos per month, and there is a line with the new clients and with some old clients. On the February it was much less money, but as you could see, it was much less hours. So here again, like $300 less in dirty cash, and it was like 75 hours less I was working. And also 66% of the time I was working on the actual project. March I was working like 151 hours, earned almost like 1,500 and 1,200 clean money, 73% from the Upwork and 27% from the Fiverr. To not take too much time, let's reveal everything. Sometimes I was working like 91 hours per month, earning like almost 2000 with like the price of my hour is $20. So it was my first year, and you could see here there is more money, but in the same time I spend less time on the learning, less time on the practice, so I was mostly spend my time on working on the projects for which I got paid for. And the other thing on the freelance that I'm always trying to maintain is to at least 15-25% should be learning and practice new stuff. Otherwise you will be dumped out by the competitiveness. And I could show you the final of the first year. So for the first year of freelancing, I was working 1900s of hours, $12,500 per year. In dirty cash after fees, clean money was $10,340, which is not a lot, and it's understandable since I started to earn money like half year after I started work. So mostly Upwork 78%, Fiverr gave me 24% of all the money for the first year, and outside of the platforms, like just 2 persons, 21% of my time I spent on searching the clients, on creating gigs on Fiverr or social medias, creating portfolio. Working with my software as well takes a lot of time. 63% of my time I was working on the projects. I did 115 contracts with 95 clients, and about half of those clients, it was the clients returning ones. 6% I spend on the learning and 8% on the practice. So I would say on the learning in general I spend like 14% of my time. Else I have another spreadsheet. The main thing I wanted to mention here that the expenses were actually $4,500. The expenses there include buying the laptop, all the fees, buying connects, paying for the software, paying for different services. So the first year my actual clean revenue was like $7,208.28. Here are some advices and tips based on my data. First of all, freelancing, it's not easy money. I remember on the like second or third month when I was working as a freelancer, I found some freelancing course where the guy were explaining how to freelance, and the introduction of that video was something like this.
Oh man, on freelancing we could earn so much money. For example, check this out. We will go on Upwork, we search for example, let's say you're a content writer, you write content writer, and then you go and on the filter you put the price. For example, let's say you want to earn $30 per hour, and you see there is a lot of jobs like this. So imagine you work 160 hours per month, and we count 160 hours with $30 per hour, and it's like almost $5,000 per month. Yay!
But in fact, as you saw before, at least 20% of your time you spend on finding the clients. They might not have enough work for you. For example, you found the client and he give you work for like 10 hours per week or 10 hours per month because he don't need more. So you had to spend even more time to find more clients. Then you have fees, which are taking your money. Also, you have to pay for your software, you have to pay for the services that you use in your work, you have to pay for the, in my case, laptop and monitor. And after all, of course, you have to pay taxes. And in the most countries, government think that freelancers are the guys who open laptop and just a lot of money pops in their faces. So my first tip is be realistic and don't think that freelancing is just easy money. If it would be like this, it would be a lot of people who earn a lot of money, and that's it. Especially if you don't have skills and you start from scratch like I did. You had to spend tons of hours just to understand how everything works. Second tip, it would be super obvious and basically it's supposed to be the first tip: take care of your health. Because if you're sick, if you feel bad, you're not able to work, or you're able to work and you're working not productive and you lose money. So yeah, don't spend all the days long in front of your computer. Do sports, eat healthy and all that stuff. And I'm saying this because, you know, when you lie on your bed and you have strong pain somewhere, you don't really care about your money, about your clients, about everything in the world. The only thing you want is to feel better. So it's much easier to prevent those situations rather than fighting against them when they already happen. Third tip: always learn new stuff, because it's super easy to become outsider if you just work in the name of money, and you ended up because you could being outcompete. So yeah, always learn new skills, and not only because of the dangers of being outcompete, else it's super easy to burn out. If you're always working for the money right now and you don't care about your growth, very fast you found out that you're doing exactly the same thing day after day, month after month, and very soon you start to feel burned out. So to prevent this, always try something new, always learn something new, and that will encourage yourself to do more, and you will like more what you're doing. So you saw that my revenues was not good and my first half of year was super hard money-wise. So I would recommend you to make a smooth transition. I will make another video on that topic, how better to start it, to not dive deep like me, because I just had no choice. But in the same time, when you dive deep and you're struggling with such things that I was struggling, you know, starvation is a good motivator. Definitely not financial advice. But in the same time, I would say, as you saw, after each month I started to work less and less. So because of that, I had more time to do what I like, to learn what I like. And I think for me that's the best benefit out of freelancing, that you actually have more time. You could work certain amount of hours that you need or that you want, and after the rest of the time you could spend wherever you like. Actually, I have the spreadsheets from the second year, and if you want me to create another video on that topic, let me know in the comments. Thank you for your time. I hope you got something from that video, and leave a like, subscribe on my channel if you would like to see more content on freelance topic. Have a nice day.